Hi, welcome back to my High Plains Life. I'm your host, Danielle, and this is episode 52, which I'm calling Bomb Cyclones because that's what we've had over the last 6 weeks. We've had two bomb cyclones and it snowed again last night. It's April 30th, spring in Colorado. Of course, it snowed. I, unlike many others, do not mind. I kind of like it. It is usually a wet snow in the spring, which we need all the moisture we can get. I don't have to shovel, and I don't have to do yard work today because it's all under snow. So, couple inches is fine with me. The roads are clear, so don't have to worry about people's safety. I love spring snows, except for the bomb cyclone snows, where we have sustained winds in the 40-mile-per-hour range with gusts up to 96 miles per hour is what was measured at the closest location to us, which is within a mile. It snapped a 4x4 post in our fence. We just hunkered down inside. So, as every other knitting podcast says, this isn't a weather report. But it is, right? It affects our lives in so many ways. And we get to wear knitwear if it's cool. Always a plus. Let's see. As I mentioned, it's April 30th. 2019. It did snow here in Colorado last night. On with the show. I have a lot to show you and a lot to talk about, so this might be a pretty long episode for me, which means more than 30 minutes. Hope you don't mind, but it's been a while. You can break it up and watch it in two parts if you'd like. I have lots of knitting to show you. I have no FOs. I did manage to fix my Runa cardigan. No holes, can't even tell. Thank you, Lord. So I basically fixed it, knotted it on the inside. I don't care if there's knots. There's not a hole. That's all I was looking for. And took some FO photos, which I need to still post on Ravelry. So that is done, but it's really warm. And even though it snowed, it's too warm to wear today. So I will insert a photo here, maybe. If not, there's a link to my Ravelry page where a FO photo will be updated soon. I keep looking this way because this is where my stack of whips are, and there's a bunch, so I'm like trying to figure out which order to do them in. So let's just start with what's closest to me. This is in my Bee Splat bag by Mrs. Brown's Bags, and I'm shedding hair everywhere. Love this bag. Given to me by a friend. Is my Crystal Palace Yarns Mini Mochi Fair Isle hat. And I am using these two skeins of yarn of Mini Mochi. They are different colorways, but I end up getting similar colors next to each other. So I have had to break the yarn and wind off a bit till I got to a spot where there was enough contrast. And there is enough light in here that my glasses are tinting. I apologize. Okay, yes, so I've had to try and get to some stages where there is more contrast. You can tell there's blue in both. There's a little bit of green in both. There's gray in both. I don't know why. There are different colorways, I swear. But, so here, ta-da, is my mini mochi Fair Isle hat. I am just to the part, I just did 7 inches, so I'm just to the part where I begin my decreases in pattern. This is my cute little progress keeper. It's a bee with sparkles. The pattern is really subtle, you can tell, where I've hit similar colors. I like it. It's a bit tight. It's a bit snug. So maybe it won't be for me. I have a 21-inch head, so I will have to find somebody with a smaller head. If one of you has a smaller than 21-inch head, comment below. You might be getting a free hat. Really, I just wanted to do this too. This is my first time doing Fair Isle, so wanted to practice some stranded color work, and I wanted to use yarn from Stash. So, ta-da! It's going along well. I can do this in the evenings. So, I sit at night and knit while my husband and I watch TV, so that's really nice. Let's see, another whip is my pair of syncopation socks, syncopation. I am doing these out of a local yarn dyer, Andromeda Yarns. This is her colorway Smoke. Most of them are one-of-a-kind colorways, so they're non-repeatable. Sorry. But she sells from online, Andromeda Yarns, and she also sells at our local yarn store, You and Me, a yarn boutique. So I love this. I thought this would be subtle enough. It's a gray blue with navy speckles. So I thought it'd be subtle enough and conservative enough for socks for my husband. And because, you know, I really only want to do plain vanilla on self-striping socks. So I chose a syncopated pattern. And I'm doing these 2 at a time, toe up, because then I work them exactly the same. I don't have questions. I don't have to write down what I did on the first sock. And I don't have second sock syndrome. However, if I make a mistake on one, I do it on both. Yay! So, okay. I have just finished the second repeat of the pattern. Oops, there we go. I don't know if you can tell. It's really just a purl stitch that alternates every couple of rows. It goes up in one thing and then it moves over and goes up and then it moves back and goes up. Like I said, it's very subtle. And even in the project photos, it appears to be pretty subtle, but it does have a distinct texture to it. So it does show up. And looking forward to that. It's easy to memorize. And I have it in my Broncos bag. Because while it is not football season, it has been pre-draft, draft season. And I think we did well this year. Okay. So those are my syncopation socks. Link is in the show notes. I also have a second pair of socks on the needles, and these are for me. These have been going since Christmas, hence my Christmas bag that I made for them. Ta-da! Yes! This is my Jinx yarn in the Naughty or Nice colorway, and I have this much left, which I'm going to keep going. Like, I could either stop now and have enough for a pair of shorties, but I'm going to keep going. I put in Afterthought heels, yay, using, again, Andromeda Yarns. It's this beautiful dark evergreen. It's called Grasshopper Toes. Ooh, that is a good color. Really good color. So I did afterthought heels with that so that I could try them on and get a better fit, like a true fit versus a fake tube sock fit around the heel. And they're really only mid-calf, so they're not as tall as you think they are, I guess. And since I was going for it, I'm going for it. I want a pair of knee-high socks out of this. So I'm glad I put in the heels because now I can get a better idea of the calf increases that I need to do. And yeah, 2 at a time, toe up. Vanilla, because it's self-striping. With just a bit of sparkle. I'm kind of tired of knitting on these just because it's spring and these are Christmas. But no more than 2 sock whips at a time. That's my goal. A vanilla pair and a pattern pair. And even though I do have more sock needles, bad. No, I will not be enabled. Okay, so those are my 2 sock whips. And you saw my hat. Ta-da! This, I had to move it from my smaller plaid waxed canvas bag to my Attenti bag. I love this. This was a birthday present to me. Look at the pom-poms. Oops, fuzzy pom-poms. Okay, and it's got a little Katrinkle name tag on it. And I embroidered my initials. Yay! Okay, so this project is my Texture Time shawl, which is the Stephen West Mystery Shawl Knit Along for 2018. The end of the year, yeah. Needless to say, not done. So, but I did finish section 3, which I'd stalled out on. And even though I shortened it up by a repeat, so maybe 20 rows, that's fine. It's still a big enough shawl. And I completed section 4, although I did not bind off yet. Because I think I'm going to seam the ends together and make it a poncho-y? Shanso? I don't know. So I will have to bind off because I'm going to have to seam it in section 3 together to get the right fit versus the ends of section 4. Ta-da! But, let's see if I can get good colors. This is actually, maybe. It's a little more turquoisey than what is coming up. Section 3, section 2, section 1. So, yeah, that's half of it, folks. I can't get that color. Oh, that's kind of it. Yes, so obviously it's still in the needles because I haven't bound off yet, those ends. It's an I-cord bind off. Okay, a little bit of time and I'm done. And then I'm going to seam it up down the back. It's going to have a pretty ruffle. And I am going to do the border because I still have mohair left. I am loving it. I'm glad I picked it back up. I'm glad I'm almost finished with it. Its colors are pretty much out of my wheelhouse. Yeah, there's some blue and green in it, but not dominant. And wow. But I love the way everything's blended together. So, section 4 complete. So, I'm going to bind off the ends, seam. Maybe I'll do the border before I seam it. Sure. But I still have this much of the mohair left. So it probably won't make a border as wide as the pattern. But I'll see what I can get out of it. We're playing this one by ear. Okay, shove it back in, because there's room in this. And the other one wasn't closing anymore. Okay, my last whip. Oh, my nose. Mohair fuzz is my Pro Shawl number 4. They're just going to be consecutively numbered. This is the, what is the pattern? Tidal Wave Shawl. It's a free crochet pattern by Moogly. So that's what it's supposed to look like. It's a long, triangular, asymmetric, cell-shaped, I don't know what you want to call it, shawl. Crochet goes so much faster than knitting. And somewhere in here, ha! It's my crochet hook. Okay. So I have gone through my light green, my medium green, and I had to pick up another skein. This dark green to make it big enough because this little tiny tail took up so much yarn. I should have like tripled the amount of increases I did at the beginning. So I have ends to weave in. I think I'm going to finish off this ball of yarn and call it good. And Pro Shawl number 4 will be done. Yay! I am doing this on a USK 6.5 millimeter crochet hook. Those are all my whips currently on the needles. I have several that I am eager to start, and that begins with what I've been stocking. I have considered felted slippers for a while, and of course I have like the felted clogs that everybody had done with the fuzzy thing around the edge in my queue, but I did a more advanced Ravelry search and came up with 2 other patterns that I'm going to kind of mesh together for some felted slippers that go up over the ankle. And I was like, oh, I can wait till next fall to do these, even though they've really been on my mind. But then it snowed again, and I'm like, yes, I have cold feet. Perfect excuse to cast on felted slippers. And I have some yarn left over from a previous sweater, my Cascade Echo Plus, which I think will felt beautifully. So excited about that. So the felted slippers and the Magical Thanking Shawl by Casapinka. Casapinka is the one who did the Goldfish Memories shawl with all those different textures and color changes, and several people knit it that I watch. I think Diane of Suburban Stitcher knit it. Either Leslie or Laura of the Knit Girls made one, I think. And when I saw it, I loved it. And I'm like, oh, I want to knit that. And then Casapinka came up with this new design called Magical Thinking. And she created the pattern especially for Local Yarn Store Day, which was April 27th, this last weekend. And so this kind of goes into my acquisitions. Yes, I bought stuff at my local yarn store. It's a three yarn shawl, again with multiple textures, and she made recommendations of what yarns to put together for it. And so for local yarn store day, a lot of dyers did exclusive colorways for yarn shops or for the weekend. And Casapinka made this a kind of like, if you buy your local yarn store's kit, you get the pattern for free, download code for the pattern. So excited! So of course, I bought a kit. Ah! Oh, speaking of my color wheelhouse, blues and greens. Sorry for the crinkling, I apologize. I'm not going to take it out of the bag, because if I do, you know I'm going to kick it up and, ooh, what a cast on now! I can't. I have to finish per my own goals. I would like to finish an existing whip before I cast this on. That's kind of like my carrot and the stick, you know? So these are Lemonade Shop, which again is a local Colorado dyer. We have some really great, we have some really great hand dyers, indie dyers in Colorado. And Colorado Springs has Dragon Fairy Dye Works, Andromeda Yarns. We have, Colorado has the Lemonade Shop. We have Luna Gray Yarns. We have Hugh Logo. I love her barnyard chicken collection. Who else do we, I know I'm leaving out some really good dyers. I apologize. Those are just like right off the top of my head. But Lemonade Shop, exclusive kits for You and Mia Yarn Boutique, my local yarn shop. And she did several different colorways, and of course, blue and green. So there's a light blue, a navy blue. There, that's the navy. Kind of a turquoisey blue. And then a green with the blues and white variegated with little speckles, little navy speckles. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? And this is her 80/20 400 yards simple sock. I love it. For socks, a 75/25 blend holds up better, I think, to knit with for me. But for shawls, I love the 80/20 blend. Oh, it's just plumper, a little squishy. So I bought this, and I can't wait to cast on the Magically Thinking shawl by Casapinka. Go check it out on Ravelry. It's gorgeous! Sorry. I also got, I should have worn this today. Oh, I'll have to wear it on next podcast. A t-shirt, sheep-faced. How true is that? I also bought, that's right, Andromeda yarn again, but she does have a few repeatable colorways, and those are Colorado specific. She has Garden of the Gods, which is gorgeous. She has Pike's Peak, and this is, she numbers 96, how many skeins of them she's dyed in total. So each one is consecutively increasing number. This is a 75/25 blend. It's mostly blues with some, come here, some greens. Is that coming across? Are you getting that green? in there with beautiful speckles. Do you see that? The rust and gold. Oh, I love it. So I bought this because I've been wanting it. And then for local yarn store day, she dyed an exclusive colorway for you and me. And I bought this on her 80/20 blend, which I think is pretty new to her, a 2-ply. 400 yards, 100 grams, 80 superwash wool, 20 nylon, and it's soft. It's pretty, and it's called Colorado Columbine. Look at that. So the columbine is our state flower. If you don't know, look at those speckles. Those dark purple speckles. So I bought these 2 skeins of Andromeda yarn, and I got a free little bag. Isn't that cute? Okay, I bought some because I don't know if it's discontinued or if it's just discontinued from her shop, I think. Barocco Nebula. I've got 2 skeins of these. Can you see a color theme developing? Gee, I wonder if these are my colors. Yeah. So I bought 2 skeins. They were 50% off, so it was just like buying one. Yay! It's a single ply, 100 grams, 416 yards. So it's a fingering weight, 100% superwash merino wool, made in Italy. But beautiful. And I can totally see a color changing shawl in my future. I also bought a few more beads. Fusion Beads is loving me because I have made multiple orders to them now to make more beaded stitch markers and progress keepers. I have slowed down a bit, but I'm still thoroughly enjoying making them. And I did mention Hugh Loco earlier. She does the Backyard Chicken Collection. And I'm making little chickens to match her. I think this is the something Sussex. I don't know. It's got beautiful turquoise in it though. And because no 2 of them can be the same, I made that one too. So they're both a little different. Aren't they cute? So hopefully these chickens are meant to coordinate with the Hugh Loco Backyard Chicken colorways. I think you've seen my pandas before, and I made a little cherry. This was a lot harder because it's got the single stems, so there's not as much rigid support there when you're beading. So I'm like, But, so I made the cherries. I'll be making more of them. I made several of the little sheep. Aren't those so cute? And there's a little hedgehog. So, I did make a variety more of them, and they are up for sale at my local yarn shop, You and Me, a yarn boutique. I am not going to be selling on Etsy. Spinning projects. I have been doing a lot of, not a lot, but some spinning. I received, it's called Sunset Bay was the color name, from Lambspun, I think, of Colorado. And I received it as part of a gift swap at the holiday party for my knit group. And it's a merino silk blend. It is a yellow, blue, brown combo. So I think the brown was natural wool, and then the yellow and brown were dyed. Yellow and blue were dyed. Spun this on my Lundrum. I weighed it, split it out as evenly as possible, and did 2 singles and plied them together for a 2-ply. I tried not to muddy the colors. And I was just kind of going for a marled effect. It has not been set. Obviously, it's still on my plying bobbin. So I have not set it or measured the yardage yet. It came out fairly even. It's kind of fuzzy. Woo, fluffy. And every now and then, there'll be a sparkle. A little blue stellina in there somewhere. Sure, I say that and now there's none. But I think I did a good job of not muddying it up. And then I think it's blending board time. I have a hankering to spin some Rolex that I've made myself. I'm very excited. I have all these urges right now. And some of that includes sewing. For under the needle, I have done 2 quilt workshops recently. One was with each guild I'm a member of. It's called the Day Guild and the Night Guild, just because of the times they meet. So the Colorado Springs Quilt Guild meets in the evenings, and they had Beth Longquist do a workshop in February called the Lily Pad Block. Ended up loving the block. There's like 32 different ways you can put it together. I chose on around the world kind of style, and I showed it to you on my design wall last time. Well, my design wall fell off the wall. Blocks all over the floor. Good thing I'd taken a photo because that made it a lot easier to recreate. So I've recreated the quilt top, sewed it together using... That was one workshop that I learned a lot at and thoroughly enjoyed. And the other workshop I attended was through the Piecing Partners Quilt Guild, which is the Day Guild. And it was just a couple hours, single afternoon workshop with Loopy Tulips. And she gave an amazing lecture on the history of the Baltimore album quilt and what constitutes a Baltimore album quilt, time periods, designs, distinct features, history of it, and the making of it, like creating it. So, very good lecture, very interesting. I had been wanting to do some applique. I have not done like fold the edge over applique, like needle turn applique or freezer paper applique. Haven't done it. The only one I've done has been raw edge applique, where you literally cut out the shape and use the iron-on fusible to stick it to the background. So this was something new. I have admired Baltimore album quilts in the past, and have just been kind of not put off by them, but slowed down, I guess, by the fact that they were applique and I didn't have that experience yet. But never be afraid to learn new things. Keep learning. And so I signed up for this workshop, and the goal was basically to learn the techniques that you needed to do to complete one block. And this is the block. So this is the pattern page. Because you have stems, you have leaves. The circles are going to be ruched flowers. So they are, I'm sorry, I get sun right in the window and then my glasses tint brown. So there's multiple applique techniques that are used in making this single block. Simple, beautiful, three-dimensional. We started, and here is the beginning of my block. Obviously, it's a little wrinkled and needs ironed, but I am not going to iron it until I am finished because what I used to trace the pattern design from the paper onto my background fabric. Can you see the pink line? I used a pink marker for this one. Another project I use is blue, so you will see is a wonderful new gadget that I just learned about. I am slightly upset that nobody told me about this any sooner. So I am telling you now, any quilters out there, anybody who's looking for a marking tool that is easily removable, it's called a friction pen. Office Depot, Staples, oh my lord. They come in like 10 different colors. I love them. Cheap, they're like $1.50. And you just mark away. And when you want the marks to disappear, you apply heat. Iron it, toss it in the dryer for a couple minutes on, low heat, medium heat, whatever. All gone. Now, the chemical engineer geek in me loves this because what it is there is a chemical that is thermal sensitive in the pigment. So once it reaches a specific temperature, chemical reaction occurs, making the pigment clear. So basically it's invisible. Invisible ink, folks. And if you want it to reappear, stick it in the freezer. Thermally sensitive pigment. Invisible ink, sorry. Very excited about this. Because the Pouncy chalk sucks. The wash away markers suck. This is amazing. Game changer, folks. Game changer. So, these are my leaves and my stems and my little flower centers and my little ruched flowers. Aren't they cute? Here's a larger one that is basically going to go la 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 in a circle over a circle, and then the yellow's going to go in the middle. Yeah, that's not a very good explanation. But trust me, the picture's beautiful. So, I loved this. Multiple reasons. One, look at all my different leaves. This is a great use for scraps. Great way to get rid of scraps and use them and make them functional while making your piece more interesting. Also, cool tools. And it's small enough and portable enough. I can sit on the couch in the evenings and do some stitching and kick my husband's butt at Jeopardy while doing it. Just kidding. So that is a lot of fun. I have enjoyed sitting and stitching in the evenings so much that I pulled out, my pineapple block table runner that I had been hand quilting for about a year now. Oh God, mohair in the air. Sorry. Okay. So I was just doing the applique in hand, which means without a hoop. This table runner, I had been hand quilting in a Q-snap frame, but only using 3 of the sides clipped down and leaving the 4th loose, and being able to adjust those other 3 sides, because all you do is rotate the clip around and you can tighten it or loosen it up, so that the fabric was actually loose enough. It makes the up-down stitching movement easier, I guess, if you can fold your fabric a bit. So amazing. Do you see the blue marker? Oh, not as the light disappears. There, you can see that blue marker. So the chalk that I had marked the quilting designs on this table runner with had all rubbed off, disappeared, pulled out the friction pin, re-marked all my quilting designs. They're still there because I haven't applied heat yet. Awesome. And I think my quilting is okay. You can see in the brown block there. So I'm improving. It's not perfect, it's not tiny, but I'm working on keeping them consistent lengths, and I think that's doing okay. And so I finished all the hand quilting on this. I trimmed it up, and I just trimmed the front batting and backing all even because my binding is going to be really thin, so I don't need that extra batting in there to fill up the binding when I turn it. So I already had some binding prepared, actually, from another project, so all I had to do was make like 20 inches more. So I have this. I think this will go great. Yay! So I just have to apply the binding. Yay! I've been having so much fun hand stitching that I have become slightly obsessed with needle minders. So don't laugh. Needle minders are like, you'll find some old-fashioned ones that are like a cardboard paper, not a thick cardboard, but you know, like a tri-fold where you tuck the little flap in and the holes in the paper where you put the needles through. But mostly they're little fabric books with felt pages in them that you can put the needles through the felt. Most of them only have 1 or 2 pages. A lot of them are really tiny. So adorable. I'm completely obsessed. But now I have embroidery needles. I have quilting needles, which I use betweens or sharps. I have basting needles. Oh my God, I have to keep them separate because I can't identify them to tell them apart. I know there's a difference. I don't know. So, went down that Pinterest rabbit hole, of course, and after looking at multiple different styles and designs, I figured out what I want, and that is a combination of several, mainly 2 different tutorials, and that had more to do with the fabrics and the amount of fabrics I wanted to use. Some of them only used 1 fabric, and the ones I chose allow placement for multiple fabrics. So I have this, and it's only a fat quarter. This is in my stash forever. No idea what to do it with. It's kind of an off color, off green, and it's got purple, plummy, lavender, and peach in the flowers and the roses. It's fig and something is the name of the fabric. Fig and plum. So I haven't used it in anything else. It doesn't really coordinate. I'm going to use this for the cover of my needle case. That's pretty accurate. It's a little blown out, but isn't that gorgeous? Gorgeous! Well, I want to use these with it. Look at this. This is another fabric that's all I have is just that strip. I think I got it at the put and take table at a quilt guild. So free, part of stash. But look at that. Isn't that beautiful? And then, oh look, I pulled out another purple. Solid, but look. Oh God, doesn't that go gorgeous? And then another purple. Ah! And then, look at that. A little polka dot with green dots. And this is from like a charm pack. And the green actually matches the green. Amazing. And then like a check with a peachy color that coordinates with that. Ah, look at those. Look at that. So cover, binding, pockets, inner cover, sides. I am just excited that I have a chance to play with my fabric stash, pull fabrics together. This is almost as fun as creating a fade. So, very excited, and that is what I'm going to be sewing. Probably starting today. So very excited. Yay! So obsessed with needle minders. I need to finish and make it so that I can close all the tabs on my browser. In the garden, I have been doing spring cleanup, trimming the perennials. I leave my perennials in the fall, mainly because I'm lazy. But I use the excuse that A, it provides winter interest, and B, it helps the plants overwinter, because it helps trap, like in the front yard, when the tree drops its leaves, if I don't trim my perennials down, the branches are able to hold on to a lot of those dead leaves and kind of provide a little self-mulch, I guess you'd say, which helps protect them from the weather and survive better over the winter. Whereas if I trimmed them all down to the ground, they'd be bare. So, yeah, the only thing is you have to get out there soon enough before things start getting green. Or it's too late. But, so I've been doing a lot of spring cleanup, trimming the perennials down and back, cutting back the grasses, the ornamental grasses, which do provide visual interest in the winter. I put some wool out for the birds to make nests. I basically just used, you can just like sit it out, tie it to a tree branch or something. I used a metal cage, square metal cage that's used for a suet feeder, and I just put raw wool in that for the birds to grab. Well, no, we're not supposed to use yarn because the string can get knotted and tangled, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so wool is totally fine. Off topic, by we I mean me, was thinking of getting new countertops and a backsplash, like a tile backsplash put in for our kitchen already. And then the microwave died, so I was like, hey, let's get new appliances. Because of course you can't replace one and then have the finishes mismatched. Oh, I was already planning on having the interior of the house repainted. It's been 13 years, folks. Um, so we had somebody come and give us an estimate for that, and that will be scheduled soon. So that's a lot. That's a lot of home improvement going on. But I wanted to show you. So this is the tile that I'm 98% sure I'm going to use for the backsplash. I love it. I think it goes great with the cabinets and the countertop. But my husband goes, "Don't you think that's a little old?" And I'm like, "What?" He goes, "Shouldn't we get something more modern?" Like, who are you? So this is what I would like to use. There we go. It's just rectangular tiles set in a chevron-y herringbone pattern. And this, there we go. I can't touch backwards. This color tile is pretty much what our countertops are going to be, with speckles of that. It's got really cool kind of bluish gray marble tiles in it. And then the darker gray tiles, and these match our appliances because the new ones are black stainless, which is really gorgeous. So I need your opinion, folks. Ooh, that's good color. Is this outdated? Should I do something more modern? I'm trying to stay away from subway tile, folks. I think it's very classic. It's also kind of boring. I am paying to have a backsplash installed. I want a little interest. I've dealt with a painted wall for 13 years. I want something. So come on, back me up, folks. Yeah. Or tell me I'm completely crazy. Okay. Now that I've rambled on and on and on, I will apologize for that and sign off. I hope you have a great week, and I will maybe see you soon. You can find me as Danny Girl Co. on Ravelry and Instagram, and show notes can be found at www.myhighplainslife.blogspot.com. Thanks. Have a good day.